What's up YouTube? It's LEGO King 71, and in today's video I'm going to be redesigning the LEGO Lord of the Rings Fell Beast set to make it as fearsome and terrifying as it was depicted in the legendary Peter Jackson trilogy. For those who are unfamiliar, this set was a limited time gift with purchase exclusive to members of the LEGO Insiders program if you bought the new $460 LEGO Barad-dûr set during the early release window. I've had an obsession with Lord of the Rings and especially the villains of the trilogy ever since I was a kid, so getting my hands on these new sets was a no-brainer.
This is Saruman. These are just all the orcs. And here's the ring. You see there's a ring on the back. Here's the ring. And here's the little hobbits, you know them. Here's Saruman and the White Wizard, you know them too. A troll. Here's the mountain of Mordor. This is the Tower of Mordor. And here's the Fire Shadow monster. Here's a guy and an orc. Kinda weird, huh? Here's orcs. A whole bunch of orcs and elves. Here's an orc or an orc, I don't know.
Now, despite my excitement about the new Lord of the Rings sets, I have to admit that when the images were released of the Fell Beast, I was a bit disappointed in how small and relatively harmless it looked. It honestly reminds me a lot more of a leaf-eating Bronchiosaurus with wings than the man-eating steed of the mighty Nazgul as it was depicted in the movies. Besides the redesigns I'll be doing, I'll also be recoloring the dorsal side of the Fell Beast from dark gray to black and recoloring the underbelly from dark tan to dark gray, which I think matches more accurately to the films. If you're interested in making a Fell Beast of your own, I've provided a parts list and instructions for all the members of my Patreon. Links to join my Patreon and follow me on my other social media can be found in the description below this video. But don't worry, if you're not a member of my Patreon, I'll be going through the entire redesign and build process in this video, so you'll still be able to follow along and build one for yourself that way. So without further ado, let's get into the build. The Fell Beast is broken up into 7 segments, so let's start with the largest middle segment. Here are all the parts I used. And here's how I put it together. In the original build, this segment looked undersized, so instead of making it 6 studs long, I increased it to 7. Here's a comparison of the original with my redesign. Next, let's take a look at the tail segments. To match the scale of my redesigned middle segment, I needed to add some length to the tail, making it thicker towards the middle and smaller towards the end to get the right whip-like shape. Here's the pieces I used for the first tail segment. You can see that I designed it to be 2 studs by 3 studs rather than the 2 by 2 dimensions of the original. Here's how that segment was put together. For the next segment, I changed the dimensions from 1 by 2 to 1 by 3. Here are the pieces for this part. And here's how I put it together. The next two segments are the same 1x2 dimensions as the original, but on the final segment I used this curved black tail piece on the end. Here's the pieces I used for the final two tail segments and how I put them together. Now that we completed the tail, let's move on to the most exciting part of the build, the neck and head segments. Besides increasing the overall length of the neck, the original design had some posability issues that I wanted to address also. As you can see here, in the original set, the tan 1x3 pieces on the bottom of these segments restricted the downward posability of the neck. So to fix that and increase the length of the neck at the same time, I made the segments 3 studs long instead of 2. Here's the pieces I used for these segments. And in this clip, you can see how I put them together. Now moving on, redesigning the head of the fell beast was the most exciting part for me. The original set didn't look terrifying or intimidating at all, and for some reason it didn't even have teeth. In my redesign, I used some unique pieces to be able to pack a lot of detail and give the head a much scarier look. For example, this piece comes from the foot of the LEGO Sports Puck feeder set from 2003. Surprisingly, it's actually a very common part on Bricklink and can be purchased for as little as 1 cent. The other unique pieces I used are these black dinosaur arms, which are also surprisingly common and cheap on Bricklink. For the teeth, I used these new 1x2 pieces. Here are the rest of the pieces I used to build the head. And now in this clip, you can see how I put the head together. When you connect all the segments together, they look like this. Once that was done, it was time to work on the legs. The only real changes I made to the legs was recoloring them to match the rest of the fell beast. After the legs were connected, the last step was the wings. For the wings, I actually didn't need to make any major changes from the original design. So for those of you who weren't able to get your hands on this set in time, you could probably cut out some black or dark gray cloth for the wings in place of the foil that LEGO provides. Here are the other pieces needed to build the wings. And here you can see how the wings are put together. Then I just connected the wings to the fell beast and it was almost done. As some finishing touches, I added a Nazgul rider and chains for him to control the fell beast with. And with that, here's what the finished, redesigned fell beast looks like. Now let's take a look at the original and the redesign side by side. What changes were your favorite? Leave a comment below and let me know. Also, if you liked this video and want me to make more LEGO Lord of the Rings content, drop a like and consider subscribing. I plan on building the Barad-dûr set over the next couple weeks, and I have a feeling I'll be making some enhancements to that set as well. I also started building a brand new LEGO Castle MOC, and I'll be releasing videos documenting my progress on that build soon. As always, thanks so much for watching. See ya!